Hey everyone, Michelle Rogers, your muscle mechanic, and I'm going to show you how to effectively stretch your calf muscles. So by now you should have already learned how to use a lacrosse ball and maybe a rolling pin or some other hard surface to roll out your calves. I'd like you to always start with that. And anytime you do any kind of run or workout where you're really doing some jumping or using your calves a lot, I suggest doing this stretch first before your activity and then following it. I know that's a lot, but I think calves are really important. Anytime we have limited mobility in the ankle joint, your knees and your hips will have to compensate for that limited mobility. And most people have really tight calves. So you'll feel it right away and you'll know which stretch will be most effective for you. I like to use surfaces like a Bosu or a step to put my foot up on, but you certainly can use a flat surface. I just want to make sure you get the right position because the positioning is everything. So I'm going to show you two angles. First, you're going to step one foot back. The back foot is going to be your stretching foot. There's two major muscle groups, I'd say the bigger muscle groups that you're trying to stretch here. The soleus is a deeper muscle that does not cross your knee joint. So it's going to stop somewhere up in here. And the best way to stretch it is to keep your knee soft. So you're going to drop that knee straight down towards the ground, but still try to drive your heel back to the ground. So not this. Don't fight it. Press the heel down, then press your knee forward. And you want to try to keep your feet parallel as best you can. Okay? So if you look at me from this angle, you'll see both of my feet are pointing in the same direction. Now, once you're here, you can feel around left and right. If you have a higher arch, pushing this way might feel more gratifying. If you have a flatter foot, pushing straight on or a little left might feel a little bit more of a stretch. However, please bear in mind, and this is sort of like asterisk, if you have really high arches, and I mean sort of ballerina foot, really high arches, I actually recommend you don't stretch this way at all. Just use the foam roll, the ball, the rolling pin, those kinds of things for a while. You need to get your foot sort of a little bit more well placed. So that's just my disclaimer. So after you've done that stretch, and you have to hold these stretches, you have to be a little patient with it. Give it 30 seconds to a minute per stretch. You can't just go, oop, done. You need to hold it for it to work. The muscle spindles need to send that message up to the brain back down to the muscle spindles and tell them to totally let go. So once you've done that one and you've given it some time, you're going to straighten out the leg. And again, look down at that back foot. Make sure it's straight on. Most people with tight calves, the foot starts a little off center. So look down, see that it's straight ahead, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your knee, and drive your hip forward while still driving the heel to the floor behind you. Now you'll feel that stretch higher up in the gastrocnemius, is this bigger muscle, which mine is a bad example, it's not very big. But that's where it is, and you're going to drive forward and hold. Now here's the caveat. I want you to imagine lifting your arch ever so slightly away from the floor. So in this position, you're actually getting a better stretch out of the gastroc for where it's attached on your heel. So if you can sort of twist your knee without moving your foot and feel like your arch is lifting, you'll get a better stretch. Okay, and from this angle, you'll see both of my feet are parallel, facing in the same direction. Hip is pressed forward, glutes are tight, quads are tight, heel is pressed down, and I'm twisting my knee. It's coming from the hip, but I'm twisting it out slightly to externally rotate my knee and lift the arch up. And you get a pretty effective stretch that way. Okay? Hold that stretch for a minute and switch sides, and you've got your calf stretch for the day.